Hey everyone, welcome back to Vantage ViewPoint. I'm Janvee, and today we are diving into something that's been getting a lot of attention lately: blockchain. But we are not talking about crypto and NFTs here. We are talking about something that's just as important but often overlooked: publication integrity in academic research. And I am joined by my co host Prashant, who's the Senior Vice President of Apex CoVantage, a company that's all about pushing the boundaries of technology and content transformation in publishing. Hey Prashant.
Hey, hi, Janvee. Thanks for the warm introductions. Yes, blockchain has a lot of hype around it, but today we are peeling back some of the layers to talk about how it can actually help protect the quality and reliability of published research. It's one of those practical applications that could make a big difference in the world of academia.
Exactly. So if you are new to the idea of blockchain or curious about how it could impact research publications, you're in the right place. Let's kick things off by laying down some basics. Prashant, could you please explain what we mean by publication integrity in research?
Absolutely. In research, publication integrity basically means ensuring that all parts of the publishing process, from the submission to peer review to final publications, are all transparent, verifiable, and fair. This is critical because the credibility of research depends on the trust people have in the entire publishing process. Issues like plagiarism, data manipulation, or even transparency, a lack of transparency is in peer reviews can seriously undermine the trust.
Right. And we have all seen headlines about retracted studies or research that doesn't hold up because of manipulated data. I think it's a huge problem because it doesn't just affect scientists, it affects everyone who relies on accurate information, from doctors to policymakers and even the public.
Exactly. The traditional systems we have in place, like peer review, are supposed to catch these issues, but they are not foolproof. This is where blockchain technology could really set up as a solution.
So let's break down blockchain for those who might be new to it. Blockchain is essentially a secure, decentralized way to store information, right, Prashant?
You're right. The core idea of blockchain is that it creates an immutable record, meaning that once information is added to a blockchain, it cannot be changed and tampered with. And since it's decentralized, usually managed across many different computers instead of a single server, it's transparent and very secure. For research publications, this could mean creating a permanent, unchangeable record of each submission, review, and revision in the publishing process.
Okay, so if someone submitted a research paper and it was recorded on the blockchain, there would be a transparent trail of that paper journey through peer review, revisions, and eventual publication. Wow, that could be a game changer.
Absolutely. And imagine the implications. Not only would you have a transparent record of all contributions made by reviewers and editors, but it could also help with authorship disputes. Let's say two researchers are working together on a paper, but later there's a dispute about who contributed what. With blockchain, you would be having a clear timeline on who did what and when, since every version of the document could be recorded.
That's fascinating. And speaking of real life examples, I remember reading about a project called Artifacts that uses blockchain specifically for academic publishing. It's designed to track the development of research in real time, right, Prashant?
Yes, that's a great example, artifacts. What they are doing is creating a secure system where researchers can share their findings, whether it is a full paper or just data, and have each step validated on the blockchain. This validation helps ensure that ideas and findings are attributed accurately. It's a way of fighting against the publish or perish culture that sometimes pushes researchers to cut corners. By validating each step, they are building a very trustworthy record.
And it's not just about authorship, right? This could also help with issues of plagiarism. If a researcher tries to publish findings that were recorded by someone else on the blockchain, it would be pretty obvious.
Yes, that's right. Since each contribution to the blockchain is timestamped and linked to an author, it's virtually impossible to claim someone else's work as your own. And the beauty of that is that this kind of system doesn't have to stop at just published work. Even data that didn't end up in the final publication can be recorded. So there's a traceable part for all stages of research.
That would solve so many issues. And I imagine it's not just beneficial for researchers, it's good for reviewers too. Right now, peer reviewers often work behind the scenes with little recognition. But if each review is recorded on the blockchain, they could actually get credit for their contributions.
Yes, that's a very good point. Peer reviewers are a huge part of the academic process, and they don't always get the recognition they deserve. Blockchain could bring more transparency to their role. For instead of anonymous reviews that no one ever sees, blockchain could allow for either anonymous or open reviews that are recorded in a way that rewards reviewers for their effort.
And that could lead to more honest and constructive feedback, right? Because reviewers would know their contributions are recorded and potentially accessible.
Exactly. It could lead to more accountability and potentially less bias. Imagine if a researcher suspects that a review is biased, they could have a trusted record to refer to.
Okay, so we have covered how blockchain could solve issues of transparency and crediting authors and reviewers. But Prashant, what about the elephant in the room, accessibility? Wouldn't this kind of technology make things more complicated or expensive for institutions that want to use it?
Yes, that's a very fair question, and it's definitely something to consider. Blockchain is still developing, so costs could be an issue for smaller journals or researchers without access to high-tech resources. But I think we are seeing more tools and platforms emerge that are trying to make blockchain more accessible.
And I think once it's more common, the cost will hopefully come down as well, like with most new technologies. It's sort of like the early days of the internet.
Yes, and we are already seeing early adopters in academic publishing. Some universities and journals are experimenting with blockchain based systems. They are not perfect, but they are making headway in how blockchain could become part of the publishing ecosystem.
It's exciting to think about. Imagine a future where academic publishing is fully transparent, where anyone and everyone can verify the steps a study went through from initial submission to final publication. I think it would change the whole landscape.
Totally, totally. And it's not only about reducing issues like plagiarism or manipulation, but also fostering a culture of openness and collaboration. It's an idea of everyone working with shared trust, which can only benefit the broader public.
Well, I think we have covered a lot today. Blockchain might sound complicated at first, but when you see it, how it can help solve these real problems in research publishing, it just makes sense.
Absolutely. And I hope this conversation helps demystifying blockchain a bit. It's not just about finance or trading digital assets. It has real potential to improve fields like academic research.
Thanks so much for breaking this down, Prashant. And thanks to our listeners for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode and maybe learned something new about how blockchain could transform the world of research.
Yes. Thanks, everyone. Stay curious and remember to keep questioning how new technology can bring positive changes. Catch you in the next episode.